Flying Lotus has brought us a new track featuring Denzel Curry. It's called Black Balloons Reprise. And if those of you have not listened to Denzel Curry's new album, Taboo, it was an album pretty much talking about different taboos of society and the rap game and how they all kind of meshed into Denzel's own twisted world that he crafted on that album. One of the songs was called Black Balloon. So this is part of the meaning reprise. Basically, reprise means a repeated passage or phrase within music. And here we're getting an extension of that Black Balloons world, or at least one of the structures within the taboo world, I should say. Now, what I think is happening here is the theory that I've kind of had about this upcoming album from Flying Lotus with Fumagra, in that he is talking about a post-apocalyptic landscape. However, he might actually explore how we end up there, how we get to the part where the world is like ended and everything's blown to shreds, unfortunately. And this intro within this song kind of serves, or at least this entire song serves as this kind of inflection point, or this point in which everything went to pot. And in it, Denzel kind of raps about the anxieties and fears that a lot of us have in the current landscape. The fact that, you know, we have the climate, the earth is literally heating up, and we are trying desperately to get enough people to care about it, which is a consistent theme within a lot of problems, is that there's way too much apathy and the idea of,
well, it's not going to affect me right now, so I don't care about it.
Or the idea that,
well, you know, it's like, it's not my problem, you know, like, that's what those big guys are for.
And this idea of having others fix the problem or just ignoring it for some sensationalist news kind of, again, is a big part of this idea that the world could end potentially today. And again, Flying Lotus using his music to talk about this is definitely fine with me. You're talking about a problem within society that we have that could affect the entire world. It's insane how spooky that is. When we get into the intro of this song, there's a very creepy voice that is trying its damnedest to be reassuring, but the way that it's pitched, oh my god, like it's clearly intentionally pitched that way, but it's very creepy voice telling you, like, it's terrifying, especially when you hear it on your headphones. You're like, what? This is not reassuring. Why? And you have this very these strings that pick up in intensity, like vroom, 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 and they're starting to like pick up, and you feel that energy of like fear start to really like consume you. And then Denzel comes in and he's talking about how like his nights turned to day, but it never felt any brighter. And the fact that the world is kind of not where it should be in terms of improvement. Instead, it's turning towards a darker and more shadowy path. Some of the lines that I liked him like stating was the one where he said, "Life is the ugliest bitch I ever messed with." Jesus, if that ain't the truth. It's another way to say life sucks. But in this like part where he's starting to ratchet up his intensity, this line in particular hits, as well as the fact that he talks about how children out of everyone meet the worst end. Like, they meet the doom end, the children of the world, he says. But usually, typically in wars and conflicts, one of the most popular innocents to get hurt are children. They're also used as political like gain and means, like, oh, think of the children, think of that. They're used and weaponized as well as victimized by those same evils that continue to permeate throughout the entire world. It's kind of crazy to think about how like children just get the worst end of the stick. Like, I know that the saying is save the women and children, but like typically the kids are like the main benefactors, because not only again are they weaponized and used, but they're also like displayed as like, hey, this is a future. But yet at the same time we have like dystopian type bills like the Georgian thing, where basically women who are trying to, you know, want to have control of their own bodies and potentially get abortions are basically getting shit on and are told like, nah, you can't do that, we're gonna make that illegal. Stuff like that is, you know, again, contributing to the anxiety and fears that Denzel is rapping about, how the world could potentially end. My last favorite line on here is, well, not my last, I love a lot of lines on here, but I just wanted to highlight like 3. And the third line that I really love was when he kind of just says, like, he's like telling Jesus, but we know he means Jesus, but it's just another way to say, like, telling God himself that none of this matters, that none of this really has any importance, because unfortunately humans are just tainted from the get-go. Though, like, literally telling that last vestige of potential hope, because for some people who like have religious backgrounds or really participate in religion heavily, understand that God is kind of this last vestige of hope that will save you, and like, as long as you're a good person, you'll get purified from all the bad shit that will happen. Here he's basically saying, like, God's dead too, like, it doesn't matter. Again, harping on that is incredible in the way that Denzel feeds on these anxieties and fears and uses them in this lyrical format is disgustingly great. Then you have Flying Lotus with the sonicality, with the creepy voice, the strings that intensify. On the second half, not only is the creep factor like intensifying, you get the voice again telling you that everything's cool, everything's fine, when we know it's not. We know it's not, so stop it. We also get like this flute that serves as a bridge into this more intense, like, with not only Denzel talking about the end of the world, but you have this vocal melody that's like asking, can you save me? And it's this like desperate plea. It almost feels like a past spirit like calling. The way that that's done is just so gorgeously sad. Like, it's depressing, but it's beautiful and it hurts. And I love it. It's really cool the way that this is structured, and you just sort of get like this last "can you save me," then it fades out and you get the I want to say those are strings, I'm not sure what it is, but it kind of like just, it calms down and then the song ends and you're kind of just left to your devices after hearing literally one of the most like destructive and like dark songs I've ever heard. And I think the reason it's so dark is because it does not shy away. It doesn't like subtly hint at, oh, maybe the world's over. It's, this stuff is about to happen. It's going to be really bad. We screwed up and there's nothing we can do about it. It's hopeless. And that is like the beauty of this song. And again, like I said, I think it feeds into what's going to be the very nature and crux of Flamagra, this idea of how the world may end, and meditating on that and just like making this, it's just a beautiful song. The song is really good. It's really depressing, but it's really good, and it's just raw but yet very poignant, talking about the fears and things that terrify a lot of people today. There's a lot of real stuff laced in these lines that serve a purpose, a narrative purpose, most likely, telling this story, but it's anchored in reality. And I think that's the most terrifying aspect of this song. It's always more terrifying when it's anchored in something real. And I think, yeah, Black Balloon's Reprise, great song. No, I did not wear any of this on purpose. This just happened. So hopefully you have a good day. Go sniff the sunshine and hug the flowers. Whew. Denzel Curry, Flying Lotus, Black Balloons, Reprise. Well, this guy says, if I'm a balloon guy, I'd probably get like blue ones. But I like bubbles more. Like, bubbles are more fun. Let's just do bubbles. We didn't have bubble in the budget, so I don't have any bubbles that come flying on the screen. Alright guys, working on it though. It's in progress. It's in progress. Have a great day, and don't think about the apocalypse ever.